cheap off-grid living, not to be confused with cheap RV living. Yes, cheap off-grid living, otherwise known as living free. That will be Mike. He moved. Let's talk about it. What's up, blind viewers? How you guys doing today? All right. So, Living Free Mike, he has a new channel. It is called Cheap Off-Grid Living. So, we talked about this a little while ago. I talked about it in a previous video about all his moving and his channel and everything, and how he was talking to a friend and they were pushing some land that this lady was trying to sell. But anyway, Mike put out a new video where he explains why he hasn't been posting videos like he said he was going to, because he said he was going to be consistent on this other channel. He was going to get back into the groove and he was going to make things happen. So he explains that, why he hasn't been as regular as he would like to be. And he said because one of the reasons is because he moved, which I don't know. I'm a little confused. I don't know. Because I guess he said he bought some land and then he moved on this land and then he moved. I don't know. I'm just a little bit confused. I'm not saying it's not, I don't know.
I moved. This is another plot of land. I moved before I had done anything to the other land over there, and this was available, which was awesome. So I really wanted to move over here. I got everything transferred, and yeah, all is well. So I've been doing so much over here.
I got a little.
It's time to update you.
I'm a little bit confused.
What stinks is the other side is where all the wind is at. Here we go. Let's try.
My question is maybe somebody watching will know. Now I'm not dogging him or anything, but he talked about the other plot of land before anything happened, and then he moved to this plot of land and got everything transferred. So what, did he sell the other plot and move to this plot? Is this plot just another part of the area that he bought? I don't know. I'm kind of confused as to what's going on. I guess it's higher. It has a better view and some other things he was talking about. But yeah, that's my I don't know, my quandary here. I don't know. I'm a little confused as to what's going on, and I guess I don't know if it's the way he worded it or I'm just not comprehending. But he moved onto a plot of land. He moved off of that plot onto this plot. So again, did he sell it? Did he move? Is it just, I don't know. But that's what I'm wondering. But anyway, so Mike moved. He's in a different spot. He shows us around, pretty much wide open. He says it is higher and it's a lot nicer. He talks about the wind, and that was one of the reasons why he wasn't making videos very often, because every time he'd go outside to try to film something or do something, the wind was blowing, and he's been trying different things to try to block the wind, and it just wasn't happening. But he got to the point where he said consistency is more important than wind noise. And anybody that watches this channel knows that it is one of my biggest pet peeves is the wind noise when you're outside and people are out there and you see lips moving. But actually, it was a low rumble when Mike was in the wind. It wasn't too awfully bad. It was noticeable. It was there, and I was waiting for it anyway because he said, oh, we're walking around to the windy side. But it wasn't horrible. It wasn't nearly as bad as a lot of videos I see. But yeah, it was there, but it wasn't, again, for it being one of my pet peeves that I will click off, it wasn't that awfully bad. It was there. It was noticeable, but it didn't make it so you couldn't hear him or understand him. It was a low rumbly kind of wind. It wasn't a big, it was just like a in the background. And So I hope whatever the deal is, if it's a new land, the old land, part of the land that he bought, I don't know, whatever the deal was, but I hope his move is successful. I hope he's happy there. I hope he's talking about putting up fences to keep the cows out. So I guess there's cows roaming around. So he's going to be working on that. I know this is different than the slabs, but when he was in the slabs, he tried to stake out his little claim there on a little spot, and it didn't work out too well. So anyway, there you go. I will leave a link, of course. But yeah, cheap off-grid living with Mike from Living Free. I still had Living Free. But yeah, go over and check him out if you want to see what's going on. Maybe you can figure out what the deal is, if he sold and bought or just bought and moved, or if he didn't buy anything, it's just somebody else's land that they said you can have a hunk, or I don't know. It's kind of all cryptic, and I was on a plot and I moved to this plot before anything was done, and I transferred everything. So I don't know. All right, we got another thing to talk about. Foresty Forest. He built a little cabin in the woods. Kind of cool. He got his little chainsaw out, little battery powered chainsaw, and he went to work. Now again, I know he's a Canadian. Is it his land? Is it somebody he knows land? Is it just wandered through the forest and said, hey, I'm going to build this little shack? I don't know. But either which way, pretty cool. He built this little cabin all by him, little lonesome, and it is pretty damn cool if you ask me.
So this is my first time ever building something like this, and I think it turned out all right. I learned a few things along the way. I think I should have used bigger diameter logs for the foundation. Chances are those ones are always going to be wet, and they'll be the first to rot out. The door is just for peace of mind, to know that you're not going to wake up face to face with a bear. You got some time to react before it rips it off its hinges. And I missed the perfect opportunity. I should have extended that bed platform out the front of the cabin.
That's where the bed is, actually.
There. And of course, the roof is not watertight. That's going to leak for sure. I'm open to suggestions on that. There's not a great selection of bark around here to make shingles, and trying to make them with my chainsaw would be way too much work.
So he did that all again with his little chainsaw, and he had a battery-powered hammer drill with different drill bit sizes on, and he was drilling stuff, and he was taking wood, branches and twigs and stuff, and using them as nails, driving them into the holes that he drilled. And so he put everything together, and he said so over time, when this thing starts to fall apart and decay, that there's nothing left there. He was talking about the roof thing at the end. You heard him talk about it. He talked about getting the tarp, but he didn't want to get a tarp because, again, he wants everything to be natural when it goes. The one thing he does have is he made a little wood-burning stove that's inside, and he can take that with him. But, yeah, it was very, very interesting, very cool. Old school style, if you will. Everything was hammered and put together with just, drilling holes and pounding wooden pegs in. No nails, none of that stuff. Even the door hinges, he did all that the same way with all the timber that was laying around, and his little battery powered chainsaw. Talked about that as well. He was swapping back and forth between two batteries, had a quick charger in his van, and he would drop the battery off when he was using it. And yeah, they are pretty nice when you're doing little things like that. You don't have to yank the cord and start to make two cuts and then lay it down and then go do something, come back and So I guess it is nice to pick one of them things up, squeeze the trigger, and have at it. But very, very cool stuff. Very cool. Interesting little video. He does the whole beginning part is just him in little chunks building this thing, no talking, just the sound and the dog running around. It's a pretty cool video. And then at the end, he talks a little bit, but I am very impressed. I'm very impressed at the handiness and his ability. I enjoyed it, and I think you will too. But hey, you don't have to agree with me.
This is BlindViews, and that's the way I see it. What we do here is go back.